Hello everyone, I'm Brendon Gorham, and don't go away, sports is next. The season is on fire, and you won't believe everything that's happened this last week. After the break, from the latest news from Boilermaker Athletics.
Here we go again. Another season under the lights of Mackey Arena. And at first glance, things may seem familiar. But make no mistake, a lot has changed. Our fans, louder. Our players, better. A lot better. This is the season where things change. The season where we're not defined by the moments of yesterday. This is the season where we chase the promised land. The season where records are broken. The season where history is made. Boilermaker basketball has returned. Every rebound, every three, every outrageous dunk. It's all right here on Fast Track.
Two convincing wins over Minnesota and Maryland were enough to earn the right to regain the Purdue men's basketball team's rightful rank as the #1 team in the country. Against Minnesota, Braden Smith led the way with team highs, 19 points and 7 assists. And on the defensive end, Zach Edey anchored a very impressive defensive performance with 4 blocks. The Boilermakers only allowed 12 first-half points en route to the 61-39 victory. Maryland posed a bit more of a tough task to put away as the Terrapins fought back to make it a close game. Our reporter Ella Chu takes us to the scene.
Purdue was back in action in West Lafayette for the Hammer Down Cancer game against the Maryland Terrapins. With an intense matchup in front of a sold-out crowd, this left Mackey in a roar. Purdue took the lead early on in the first half before the Terrapins made their comeback from a 14-point lead. Julian Reese finished with 19 points for Maryland, but that still was not enough to defeat the Boilers. With under 3 minutes left to play in the second half, the Terrapins caught up to the Boilers 53-56. Zach Edey led Purdue with a double-double of 24 points and 16 rebounds as the Boilermakers finished with a 58-55 win. The gray jerseys worn by the players were auctioned off with proceeds going towards research headed by the Purdue Center for Cancer Research.
The Boilermakers become 19-1 after today's game against Maryland for the first time in Purdue's history. They head to Ann Arbor on Thursday to play Michigan before heading back home in Mackey on the 29th. Stay with us for more on game updates. Reporting for Fast Track Sports, I'm Ella Chu.
Wow, was Zach Edey huge in that game? No pun intended. 24 points and 16 rebounds is crazy, as he continues to be one of the most efficient and best basketball players in all of college basketball. And speaking of him playing amazing, the Boilers will play Michigan State again on Sunday. Edey dominated that previous matchup in East Lansing with 32 points and 17 rebounds. A slugfest classic between two historic titans. Purdue came out on top thanks to a game-winning Edey layup in the final seconds. They will play at 12:15 in Mackey Arena, and if you don't have a ticket, you can watch it on CBS. Beating the Golden Gophers was the theme for Purdue athletics over the weekend. The women's basketball team took care of business Saturday afternoon with a 75-56 victory due to a strong fourth-quarter performance, shooting 57% from the field to keep the pesky Minnesota team from completing the late comeback. Laisha Petrie and Cassidy Harden nailed a combined 3 threes down the stretch to pull away, with Harden nailing 2. And those were 2 of Harden's 4 threes on the day. She cemented herself alone on the leaderboards with the 6th most made three-pointers in program history, with her first make in the second quarter. She is now 1 away from tying Dominique Oden for 5th place at 193. The Boiler bench made a big impact too. Jayla Smith brought a spark to the offense, scoring 13 points, while Ricky Roltman had 10 points and 7 rebounds after Caitlin Harper got in foul trouble early. The team now looks ahead to quite the tough challenge. They travel to Columbus, Ohio to face the #2 ranked Ohio State Buckeyes. That game will air on Big Ten Plus at 1 o'clock. Senior Day is always a special day in collegiate athletics, so it was unfortunate to see both the men's and women's swim and diving team fall short against Indiana last Saturday. It wasn't all frowns, as Kate Beavan, Maggie Love, and Darren Wright took home first places on the women's team. Beavan swam a team season best 10:45:48 in the 1,000 freestyle, while Love won the 200 IM. Wright won her 6th event at platform diving this season. The men fell short by tenths of seconds in their swimming events and unfortunately had no winners. Both teams currently in the midst of competing in Evanston, Illinois. They will finish up tomorrow when day 2 of their meet begins at noon. We're just getting started this semester. Tune in next week for another recap of the Boiler athletes in action. We're also on social, posting highlights and recaps. That's a wrap for now on Fast Track Sports. The news is back after this quick timeout.